Listen closely to the gentle stillness that resides within your soul, because what we are exploring today is a profound reality that touches the lives of so many who walk the path of personal growth. This is not a tale woven for mere entertainment, nor is it a fleeting thought meant to be brushed aside. It is a reflection on the silent battles we all face, the unseen forces of negativity that linger in the world, and the profound grace that shields us as we breathe, grow, and move forward. Imagine, for a moment, a quiet, forgotten road winding through a landscape where the air feels heavy and still. There are no bright lights, no comforting voices, just the raw, unfiltered quiet of the natural world. In our lives, we often find ourselves walking through metaphorical spaces just like this, periods of isolation, moments of deep uncertainty, where the silence feels almost overwhelming. But in this quietness, profound truths are often brought into the light. Imagine that the stillness of this path is suddenly pierced by a profound realization, a sudden awakening that changes the way we view our surroundings. It is like a sudden flash of clarity that reveals the true nature of the energy surrounding us. Sometimes, in the quietest moments of our journey, we uncover realities that were previously hidden in the shadows. We might not see physical evidence of turmoil, but we can feel the undeniable weight of circumstances shifting. Think of those moments when clarity strikes like a sudden beam of light in the darkness, revealing that the path we are walking is layered with complexities we never fully understood. It is a universal experience to suddenly realize that not everything, and not everyone, carries the pure intentions we once believed they did. There are times when we discover that the heavy energy we have been fighting was not just our own imagination, but a tangible presence of negativity that had gathered around our lives. At first, this realization can feel like stumbling upon something deeply unsettling. It stops the heart for a brief second, demanding our full attention. It is the kind of profound awareness that makes us pause, take a shaky breath, and reevaluate everything we thought we knew about our environment. When this clarity arrives, the metaphorical empty road of our mind is suddenly filled with rushing thoughts, urgent questions, and a deep need to understand the source of this heavy energy. We begin to look closely at our lives, putting up boundaries like caution tape, carefully examining the pieces of our reality. It becomes obvious that the friction we have been feeling is not entirely natural. It is often born from the intentional negativity or unresolved pain of others. But there is something incredibly important to grasp here. The discovery of this negativity is not the most significant part of the journey. What truly alters our perspective is recognizing how this energy attempted to attach itself to our peace and our future. Imagine finding a piece of evidence, a metaphorical note, that proves this negativity was directed toward the core of who we are. It is the realization that certain hardships were not random, but rather the result of toxic environments or the envy of those who watched us from afar. This awareness can initially spark a wave of pure anxiety. Questions explode within the mind. Why would this negativity find its way to my door? Why did the universe allow this heavy burden to cross my path? Was I the cause of this friction? It is easy to look around and feel a cold shiver of vulnerability, wondering how the complexities of other people's unresolved issues became entangled with our own personal peace. But it is essential to listen to the deeper wisdom within. You must stop carrying the blame for the toxicity of the world. Stop believing that your actions somehow invited the heavy, chaotic energy that sometimes swirls around you. This negativity was not born from your light. It was born from the unresolved shadows within the hearts of others. The harsh truth of the human experience is that there are individuals whose lives revolve around bitterness. They feed on comparison, allowing their own insecurities to dictate how they treat those around them. They operate in the emotional shadows, projecting their internal struggles onto the people who are simply trying to walk in the light. And sometimes, their focus turns toward the progress of others. Not to understand, not to learn, but to diminish, to tear down, and to bring a sense of chaos into the lives of those who are finding their way. It is a deeply unsettling thought that someone might harbor such intentions, allowing their personal pain to manifest as a desire to see another person struggle. But let us focus on a truth that is infinitely more powerful than any shadow. Even when negativity is directed toward a life, even when intentions are rooted in malice, there is a profound, protective grace that operates beneath the surface of our reality. This negative energy often fails to reach its intended destination. It is stopped before it can truly take root in the soul. It is halted in a way so final that it cannot destroy the core of who we are. There is a universal shield, an inner resilience, and a divine covering that steps in before malice can even breathe its full breath, before the threat can truly materialize, before the heavy energy can disrupt the foundation of a peaceful life. It is intercepted. The truth of the situation is often exposed long before it can cause permanent damage, allowing the individual to remain spiritually and emotionally secure. While toxic forces may plot silently, the power of protection is always louder. While negativity tries to find a foothold, grace walks onto the path first, canceling out the chaos. This protection is never weak, never flawed, and never late. It surrounds the spirit even in moments when the mind is completely unaware that it is being shielded from harm. The person or the energy that attempts to bring others down does not act from a place of strength. They act from a place of profound fear. They are terrified of genuine progress. They fear the light of potential, the power of a true calling, and the grace that naturally follows a life lived with purpose. They see the upward trajectory of a beautiful soul, and instead of finding inspiration, they crumble under the weight of their own inadequacy. They cannot stand to witness the blooming of someone who is stepping into their true potential. So, they make dark choices, projecting their bitterness outward. But these choices ultimately fail because there is a universal law of balance that blocks such darkness. The intentions rooted in envy are transformed into opportunities for the targeted individual to gain profound clarity and strength. What was meant to cause pain is dissolved. What was meant to bring fear into a peaceful heart is neutralized. What was meant to cause a fall only serves as the foundation for a higher rise. It is vital to hear this clearly. The reason friction and challenges sometimes gather around a life is not a sign of weakness. It is often a sign of being on the right path. The reason envy exists is not because a mistake was made. It is because something beautiful and right is being built. Darkness only attempts to draw close to the light because it knows it cannot overpower it, yet it is magnetically drawn to the warmth it lacks. Carrying purpose, destiny, and genuine goodness makes insecure hearts tremble. Let them tremble, for true inner peace remains unshaken. We are protected in ways we cannot always see, shielded in moments we do not fully comprehend, and guarded during hours when we believe we are entirely alone. The negativity designed to harm often burns itself out before it ever crosses the threshold of our boundaries. We are not defenseless or entirely vulnerable. When walking in alignment with a higher purpose, no shadow has the capacity to extinguish the inner light. But this is merely the beginning of the understanding we must embrace. Taking a deep breath allows the full picture to become clearer, heavier with wisdom, and more profound than a simple realization of safety. Understanding that negativity was stopped is one thing, but grasping the true roots of where it came from, and why it formed, is essential for complete emotional liberation. When we truly examine the sources of the heavy energy that sometimes surrounds us, we do not just look at the surface. We look at the underlying connections, the subtle interactions, and the quiet moments of everyday life. We search for the reasons why such disconnect exists. Often, we find that the most potent negativity does not come from total strangers. It does not come from people who have no history or connection to our journey. It rarely stems from those who are completely detached from our reality. Instead, it frequently originates from places of familiarity. It comes from those who have witnessed our lives, who have shared conversations, and who observe our growth much more closely than they admit. It can come from those who maintain a facade of support, pretending everything is perfectly fine when they stand face to face, while their inner world boils with bitterness at the very mention of success. This kind of toxic envy does not happen overnight. Jealousy rarely screams when it first begins. It whispers. It grows in the quiet spaces of the mind. It hides carefully behind polite smiles and disguises itself as constructive criticism or casual observation. It acts friendly, but the thought patterns within have already begun to sour. An individual carrying this envy might hide it exceptionally well, acting unaffected by the positive transformations and blessings of the people around them. But the reality is that every step forward, every breakthrough, and every moment of joy experienced by another person serves as a painful reminder of their own perceived lack. Instead of looking inward to heal their own emptiness, they feed their discontent by constantly comparing their journey to others. They look at the rising light and internally demand to know why it is not them. They question why others keep winning while they feel stuck in the same place. This animosity is not born from a genuine grievance. It is born from the painful reflection of their own unmet potential, so they begin to watch silently. Every victory, every new opportunity, every miracle, and every self-improvement is meticulously noted. And instead of sharing in the joy, they sink deeper into a self-made well of resentment. They feel invisible when placed next to a shining light. They feel overshadowed by growth that is not their own. Eventually, the weight of this jealousy becomes too heavy for their own heart to manage, and they cross a line in their own spirit. They choose the path of attempting to tear down rather than the difficult work of building themselves up. They convince themselves that creating obstacles for someone else will somehow bring stability to their own turbulent mind. They seek out ways, whether through gossip, manipulation, or projecting negativity, to introduce chaos. The intention behind this is deeply calculated. The goal is to cause panic, to create a stumbling block, and to ultimately witness a fall, because what they cannot achieve through their own merit, they attempt to achieve by hindering others. What they cannot stop with reason, they try to stop with emotional turbulence, but right at the moment when the shadows seem to close in completely, gray steps into the narrative. The universal balance sees every hidden intention. It recognizes every whispered conversation fueled by malice. It observes the plotting and the quiet resentments before they ever manifest into tangible actions. Nothing is truly hidden from the overarching truth of the universe. The negative energy is marked and halted before it can take its next breath. It is crucial to understand this on a soul level. What is meant to break you will become the very tool that exposes the toxicity around you. The universe does not allow a spirit walking in pure intention to be permanently overtaken by plans formed in jealousy. While the world may see sudden shifts in relationships, unexpected fallouts, or confusing changes in dynamics, the deeper spiritual reality is one of divine interruption. It is an interception of harm. While you are simply living your day, focusing on your path, a larger force is dismantling the negativity that was designed to shake your foundation. The truth is allowed to rise to the surface, revealing who truly stands in your corner and who has been operating from a place of envy. This exposure is not an accident. It is a necessary clearing of the path so that you can move forward without carrying the dead weight of false support. The friction you experience is not meant to terrify you. It is meant to liberate you by revealing the true nature of the energy you have been allowing into your space. Those who operate in the shadows often believe they are clever enough to keep their motives hidden. They assume their subtle sabotage will never be brought into the light. But the light has a way of illuminating every hidden corner. If the challenges of life cannot defeat a resilient spirit, they will attempt to distract it. If they cannot distract, they try to intimidate. But none of these tactics truly work against a grounded soul. The protection surrounding a life of purpose is not fragile. The destiny meant for you is not at risk of being stolen by the envious. You walk with a profound covering, a shield of resilience that deflects the arrows of bitterness. Those who attempt to tear down a person walking in their true power are not just fighting a human battle. They are pushing against the very flow of universal grace, which is a battle they cannot possibly win. This is why their negative plans ultimately collapse. This is why their malice backfires. It is not always an external enemy we must be wary of. Sometimes, the most significant lessons come from recognizing that the one wishing for a downfall is the very same person clapping the loudest in public. Sometimes, the gentlest words hide the sharpest bitterness, but their intentions scatter like dust. This revelation is a testament to the unseen forces that guard our steps and fight battles we never even knew existed. We are consistently saved from carrying the heavy burdens of other people's unresolved trauma. Knowing this is a testament to the fierce, protective love that the universe holds for those stepping into their light. But there is more to understand about the consequences of this negativity and the beautiful elevation that naturally follows surviving it. As we delve deeper into this mystery of human behavior, we see that the story is not just about the negativity itself. It is profoundly about your destiny, your rising strength, and the quiet spiritual evolution that happens when we overcome unseen obstacles. When the truth of someone's resentment is laid bare, the resulting confusion is palpable. The person who harbored the envy never expects their negativity to reflect back upon them. They do not anticipate that their attempts to weaken another will serve only to expose their own internal fractures. Right now, in the natural flow of life, those who attempt to project malice eventually find themselves facing the very chaos they tried to create. They realize that their plan has completely backfired. Instead of making you smaller, their actions have forced you to grow larger, stronger, and more aware. Instead of silencing your voice with self-doubt, they have inadvertently awakened a fierce, unshakable confidence within you. The one who set the negativity in motion is left grappling with the reality that their darkness was no match for the light they tried to extinguish. Their primary concern is no longer just their reputation, but the profound realization that they attempted to interfere with a path that was divinely protected. They tried to block blessings that were not theirs to control. And they failed entirely. No plot formed from envy can ever succeed against a spirit rooted in genuine purpose. The deeper truth is that the moment your life began to elevate, their darkness started to form. They watched you step into new levels of healing, growth, and identity, and felt profoundly threatened. They asked themselves why their own journey seemed delayed while yours flourished. Their envy grew roots, expanding and poisoning their spirit until resentment turned into a focused intent to see you struggle. They made a choice that sealed their own emotional stagnation. Instead of doing the hard work of healing their own wounds, they targeted your destiny. But the moment they reached for that darkness, they separated themselves from the flow of grace. It is essential to recognize that not everyone carries pure intentions, even those who stand close by. People may admire the results of your hard work in the daylight but resent the effort it took in the secret corners of their hearts. Yet, you continue to rise because their envy is infinitely smaller than the purpose calling your name. The true target of their negativity was never just your physical or material success. It was your spirit. They wanted to cause a fear so deep that you would lose your direction and your mental peace. They believed that if they could infiltrate your mind with doubt, they could dismantle the beautiful future being built for you. But they severely underestimated your strength. You are not fragile. You do not stand alone. You are covered by a profound resilience. The universe stepped onto the battlefield before the conflict even truly began, dismantling the obstacles piece by piece. The reason these periods of intense friction occur is often because a massive breakthrough is incredibly close. You are stepping into a new chapter of clarity, where doors swing open and blessings multiply. You are reaching a level of existence that the negativity never wanted you to achieve. The intensity of the pushback is merely proof of the magnitude of your upcoming elevation. Challenges do not waste their energy on people moving nowhere. They target those with immense destiny. The timing of the friction is the universe's way of confirming your impact. Negativity sensed the shift, knowing your influence was about to expand into spaces you have not even imagined yet. But the universe alone decides the flow of your destiny. It decides which doors open, not the opinions of the envious. When the truth is finally revealed, what looks like chaos to the world is actually a profound victory for the spirit. It is the closing of a door that needed to be shut. New protection, new strength, and new clarity are being forged in the fires of these experiences. The aftermath is clear. The energy sent to harm you returns to its sender, not as cruel revenge, but as the natural law of justice and balance. You do not have to fight, confront, or expose anyone. The universe handles the balancing of the scales. Those who wish to see you fall will be the audience to your greatest rise. They planted seeds of darkness and must harvest the results of their own choices. You, however, will not carry fear or anxiety forward. You will walk with immense gratitude and strength, knowing you are guided and protected on levels beyond imagination. The final piece of this truth brings everything together. The person who harbored this envy was likely someone who started out wanting to be part of your journey. They were not always a source of negativity, but as time passed, instead of being inspired, they became irritated. Every good thing in your life added pressure to their own unhealed insecurities. Your success inadvertently triggered the parts of themselves they refused to heal, but their failure to grow does not have to be your burden. You are free from their weight, entirely safe, completely elevated, and moving forward into a beautifully bright, deeply protected, and gloriously abundant future. Keep walking in your light, for nothing can ever extinguish the flame of a spirit that is meant to shine.